Get in, lads. Welcome back to episode six. Episode six, I think, of the I almost said for the batch podcast of the Get In Football podcast. I know.
Amateur hour over here.
I know. We're back. Episode six here. Should be go one more MLS stuff, some Chelsea stuff, some unpopular football opinions that we're gonna give our opinions on. Opinionception. Let's see what else. We're all kind of wearing some red. I just realized I'm debuting a new Ajax kit. Which is very nice for my grandma. Thank you, Grandma. I appreciate it. If you're watching, thank you very much. Love you. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Dave's gonna leave like halfway through, a little over halfway through at some point, so just be beyond address. So, but don't worry. We don't want Dave here anyway, so it'll be okay. We'll
okay.
We'll get through it.
He's been going. The past 2 episodes, he's been going through the ringer. We keep putting him through it. He deserves it, though. Let's be real.
Damn.
Well, okay. All right. We're still going at it. Okay.
All right. Let's get to the topics here. So, per usual, start with some MLS stuff because that piques everyone's attention very well. So I was on a Twitter account, just pretty much just something about U.S. soccer reform, which is everything we need to, everything U.S. soccer, both international team and our domestic league, needs to change in order for us to get up there, and primarily promotion relegation, but that's not the topic today. But reading through that gave me an epiphany, almost an idea. Just and I want to gauge your guys' opinion on the question: is could the MLS in its youth, which it still is, benefit from a rivaling league attempting to get similar stature? So like
rivaling league.
Well, just
League MX.
No. Like the same domestic league. Like league is trying to reach the same heights as that. So like back in the day, the NBA had the ABA, who were pretty. I mean, ABA was a little smaller, but to the point where they were rivaling NBA, and the NBA then merged with them. It became the NBA. MLB has like their two leagues. American League, National League, and then they're both one cohesive league. The NFL has the numerous different copycats. Yeah, XFL, and another one on I forget which. Another one too. That's Canadian, but there's another one too on NBC. I think that's rivaling right now. That's still going right now. But things like that, right? There's different leagues that sometimes forces the original league to change methods, to change something just to compete, so they don't lose out. Could the MLS do that? Like let's say there was another league, which I know there is someone's trying to form. But let's say there's another league that has promotion relegation, or anything else that the MLS doesn't have, but we've been dying for. Could that benefit overall U.S. soccer? Would that be a good thing, or is that just a waste of time?
I think it's a waste of time. It would be very confusing because American soccer football is just getting off the ground in the sense it's finally gaining a little bit of popularity and it's getting a foothold, and then creating a brand new league for competition wise would just be really contradicting in that sense, because I feel like it'd be hard to follow two leagues that are completely different from each other in the sense of like promotion relegation. And then, where would that money be coming from? And you invested already so much money into the MLS.
Well, I think it's a different thing. I mean, for me, it's like it's a whole separate entity. It's not like MLS is going to go create their own league, right? It's like, so there's more people who did invest in MLS than did. So let's say we have another league, right? They get their investors and whatnot, and the league is growing on its own. Like it's its own thing. It's not meant to be similar to MLS anyway, other than they play soccer. And like I said, with the other leagues, that's happened before, and they've merged and had to change. So I understand the confusion, but I think the confusion is the point. Does that make sense? Because so the MLS has to change to not lose out on the confused people. So they would change so they can be like, no, we are the league that you should be watching. That's my point of view there.
I just don't see it. I mean, I don't think it'd make any sense in the sense. I think it'd be it'd be a step backwards in my opinion from it all. But I feel like, Diego, thoughts?
I just think we're not at a point in our league currently that it's going to be. I'm not saying it won't be hopeful. Obviously, competition is always hopeful, but the MLS isn't at a point where I think we can be even satisfied with it too much to begin with.
Well, I think that's the point, though. Is that's what I'm trying to make. Like the let me go back to the NBA ABA thing, right? NBA was still relatively in its infancy. They weren't. That was the whole point. Is that there wasn't a league to rival them, so they weren't notably the best league in the country, let alone the world at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was still young, and so to me that's the point with the MLS, that it's young enough to change and maybe merge. I don't know, with something else. So to like say what Andres was saying, like it's like a step back, take a step back to take a step forward in the end. Like you know what I mean? Like it's young enough where it shouldn't have to just be set in what it is.
Yeah, that's true. I see. I mean, like to even get a league though that gets traction and support, you need to have either like some big names backing it,
Yeah.
or just some way to build a lot of hype for it. Because otherwise, it's just not gonna do much, and honestly, it'll be just a waste of money. So. I think you need to have some serious support for it to even gain some traction, and at that point, maybe we can talk about like it being a positive influence. But while we're talking about MLS influence, this thing itself needs to build itself up and be its own thing before we even start taking it seriously. And that's much easier said than done. So
clearly. Yeah, I think like what the hell?
Fucking hell. Hey, yo, Diego,
hey, tell Joaquin back there to stop whatever he's doing. Relax.
It's not gonna be okay.
So like the whole, this is my point of view, right? So we are, without even like really paying much attention to it, we are kind of saying that. I feel like you guys are also kind of saying like this isn't working. Also, an aspect of that is it hasn't worked. Like I mentioned the NFL thing, and Andres would know more about this, but the other two leagues, right? XFL and the whichever one's happening right now, I forget. The one
not
on
the XFL.
NBC. No, it's a different one. It's like the UP. Something, whatever.
United, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Let me.
Or maybe the same thing. I don't know, but you know what I mean is that they haven't really gained too much traction. They've gained some here and there for sure, but not too much. And that's fine. But I think if the MLS were to have a separate league that had promotion relegation, and you give it 5 years, 3 years maybe, and you kind of see how they do it, I think a lot of people would be more interested than American football fans who are interested in the NFL, that kind of thing. I think it's a little different, and I think having it would be a benefit overall into, as you were saying, Diego, shaping the MLS.
Yeah.
Like letting it grow. I think, like I said, to me, having another league would be the point, is to help shape it into what it should be. Otherwise, it's going to shape it into what it wants to be, not what the people want it to be. Does that make sense? They won't change without competition, without something taken away from their profits, right? So I feel like the only thing it would be is another league. I mean, they already have to compete with foreign leagues, which everyone likes to watch. So that's fine, but they can deal with that. But if they were to have another domestic league, then they would actually have to sit down and be like, okay, we see that you guys are watching this other league too. Let's just either merge with them, or let's just see what they're doing so that we can improve ours, so you can watch us more. Then the MLS would become the primary again.
I mean, also it's called the USFL. You're close.
USFL.
Yeah. But also technically the USL isn't like connected to the MLS in that sense. I guess it's under the same federation, but it's technically two different branches. The only thing that brings them together are the US Open Cup, which they play each other.
Yeah. Well, but they don't offer anything different to the like that's what I'm saying. Like if we had another league, promotion relegation, back to this. Pro Rel would be the thing that differs it. So if we had a league with that, then it's like, okay, that's different. USO is just MLS, but not as big.
I mean, you could, like, to use our example of creating a different league, we could then just make that USL league into its own separate league, because there's so many teams. You could make 2 divisions out of it and have a promotion relegation battle. Yes, I know there's the USL 1 and 2, whatever the fuck they're called. No offense to anyone who plays in that. But, it's like, you could do that, because you have enough teams to build out of instead of bringing something brand new if you get the right investors, because they already have decent money in the sense that they have coverage of ESPN Plus, which is somehow the USL has better coverage than the MLS, which doesn't make any sense to me. But
Well,
it's
MLS trying to do
true.
its own thing with the Apple stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but like
I
it's
know
still
what you
shit
mean.
coverage. But like like because ESPN Plus is technically still a part of like. No, sorry, never mind. I was about to mix two different brands together. It would have been caught myself out, stop
Yeah.
myself. But like like the USL, like if they could like separate it, it would be cool.
Okay.
But like I think it's probably never gonna happen having a different league. But it's a fun conversation to have in general.
Yeah.
And like I feel like grabbing the USL and making its own separate thing away from the MLS and not having it connected would be cool. And then like doing like a little like miniature like final of like, oh, the winner of the USL faces the winner of the MLS. That'd be kind of cool.
Yep. I like that. I like that too. I think you do bring an interesting point with the USL, and which I definitely haven't thought of, or definitely wouldn't have thought about. Is that like, let's say, yeah, you're right. Maybe not a new league, but we just improve upon the USL. We just someone or a company or a group comes in and it's just like, we're gonna put millions, if not billions, into this and make it a new thing. Then that could very easily rival, because there's plenty of USL fans. Like they have their teams in such different cities than the MLS does. Smaller cities, but doesn't
And
mean
the
cities are on
outreach is
fashion.
massive. I mean, if
Exactly.
you build that up, like it's just only going to expand into the communities. I mean, there's the Monterey, like California's like, ooh, I don't want to disrespect anyone, get called out in the comments by anyone. I'm gonna say they have like 4 or 5 USL teams. No, 6. I'm gonna say 6. A solid 6. Sacramento Republic, Oakland Roots, Monterey Bay, San Diego, Ontario, Orange County, and LA Galaxy. 6.
Right.
I was right.
2, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you can only outreach into those groups because like Monterey is a brand new team, but now they're playing LAFC, in the US Open Cup.
Right.
So it's like, if you like put money into all those teams like in California, Oakland's like its own team, it's by itself, so it could go into San Francisco, yada yada yada. But yeah, I feel like if they invested it would be a smart decision. But
yeah,
it'd be cool to see.
This is all a decade or 2, 3 decades kind of thing. Like this would be a long-term thing, but one that I would be a big fan of. I doubt it would ever happen, but I personally would be a big fan of, and it kind of would make it interesting. Because I think like the kind of was on. I don't know how real this is or legit, but it's like 80. It was a poll taken amongst US soccer fans, and 88% said they would want promotion relegation. Right, that's a big part of the national soccer fan scene. MLS isn't going to change without a need to change, and if a different league would require them to change, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's less views, less money. Exactly, something to put the pressure on them. Something to put the pressure on. All right, I like that. Very good, very good, very good. I think that's pretty much that's all our MLS stuff for today. So let's move on. I'm gonna go because I want to be sure that Diego's here for this, in particular. But I got some unpopular football opinions. One that I did tell Diego this past weekend. However, there's a lot that he doesn't know. So I'm just gonna go. It's just this Instagram post right here that I have found. So we're gonna go with. Let's see. Let's start from the back. Since its introduction, VAR has done more good than bad for football.
False.
Oh, 2 falses.
I concur with Diego.
I think it's easy to criticize it because, yes, I think it should be doing a lot better. Let's be honest. But you look back, and this is an annoying part as well for me. Like, there's literally a Twitter post the other day. I think it was a Champions League account posted like, and this is nothing against Ronaldo, but Ronaldo's hat trick against Bayern Munich in like a Champions League quarterfinal. 2 or all 3, maybe 2 of his goals were offsides.
Okay. Offsides. Yeah, no, I've seen that as well. Yeah.
And then, like, what people will say there is like, oh, but no VR here. Like this game is special. I'm like, brother, nowadays that happens, you're gonna complain about how that should be called offside. But just because it didn't exist back then, you think like you're like saying it makes it like some special, like it has like a special connotation to it. Like, no. The game is better for this calls now. Yes, some of them are not great and they need to be worked on. But when there's blatant goals that were so obviously offside, and people are now trying to protect those goals because it was like it wouldn't have been such a special game if it wasn't for that. Like again, it happened. Obviously, you can't change it, but like if we can stop that from happening again, we should. We shouldn't be like, oh, offsides. It made the game better for it or whatever. It made the game special. Like I can look back on and be like, oh yeah, that was like, back when we didn't have VAR. So it's more like a nostalgia thing that people were trying to go for, and I was like, no, we're trying to make the football better, and yes, VAR needs help, but like it's 100% the way to go.
Wait. So I'm kind of confused there. So
yeah.
So VAR has done more good than bad.
It has had a lot of issues, but I'm not saying throw it away, because if we want to say get rid of it, it's not going to improve.
I hear a 50-50 split.
I know what you mean, but
what I mean, VAR itself isn't even the problem. It's the people.
Well, I know. But the overall, I know what you mean, and I think what you're trying to say is it, in the grand scheme of things, should/will do more good than bad.
Yes, absolutely.
Previously, though, has the overall system, including the referees, the system, has it done more good than bad? That's a different question.
I want to say yes. I mean, obviously, it's easier to remember the stuff that hasn't done well, but like, I think if we take in everything, I think it's probably done more good than bad. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's just easier to remember the stuff that, like, obviously, if your team gets hurt by it.
Past 2 weeks.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I know Andres gonna say it's done more bad, but like I personally think it's done more good than bad. I just think the bad things are obviously more notable.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. Doesn't mean it's done more. It's just more talked about. That's different.
Because it gets past two people. The ref on the field and then the VAR ref gets past two.
Right.
And then the VAR is supposed to prevent any mistakes from happening, but they happen anyway. I mean, and then also I think it gives a blanket of security for referees on the field, in the sense that if they make a bad decision or something, they have something to protect them as a fallout, if that makes sense. To like overturn it. So it's kind of like gives them like, what's the word? Like they rely on VAR to like make those tough decisions, so they don't have to anymore, which I feel like can be stupid sometimes, in the sense that they don't trust their instincts, and so they don't call anything. But the only problem is with VAR, they only can change something if it's a clear and obvious error, which sometimes it's not. So I don't know. Personally, I feel as a man of a team who has been taken so much this season from VAR and given, don't get me wrong, we've gotten some lucky calls. I feel like it's failed in the sense, but I feel like I'm trying to remember times like when I watched the Prem before VAR and when I watched it with VAR. I think I was more upset with VAR because of the fact that these errors aren't supposed to happen. And then I can be okay with the fact that it's a human error, So like I'm caught in between, but I'm going to stick with what I originally said false. It doesn't help the Prem because of the whole premise. Yes, but it's because of the human error that's happening and the paying off of refs that's happening that is stopping it from being as good as it should be. That is my spiel on VAR.
Okay. All right. I think it's fair for both sides. I understand. I think Andres, you definitely have a more like personal approach with it just because of West Ham, which is fair. Like I said, that's just how you see it.
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks.
And it's like if you told me this last season, I would be with you, because Chelsea, like Timo Werner, man, we had Timo Werner, so many outside goals, so many tight outside goals that wouldn't have been called without VAR. So like I know what you mean. All right, VAR discussion. That was going to take longer. I'm glad it didn't, to be honest. This is the one that Diego heard. Jamie Vardy is more of a Premier League legend than Didier Drogba or Harry Kane, and I think no. I feel like we should all be in disagreement with this. This is a
hot take.
This is a preposterous take, in my opinion.
No,
this is absolutely preposterous.
Well, okay, you got Drogba, and then but Kane.
I mean, but yes, but most people most Premier League fans respect both as who they were.
Yeah,
like it's very fun.
Vardy's playing for Leicester, and yes,
Vardy had 1 year. Vardy had one really good year.
And Kane's had so many, and he hasn't won shit. So it's like, like.
See, but for me, it's more so that it's the legend of Leicester City. It's not Jamie Vardy.
But he was class that season.
No, he definitely was. He definitely was. But Harry Kane is individually one of the best strikers of all time. Didier Drogba, because of his individual prowess and his team when he was playing, makes him a legend. Jamie Vardy had one good season and a legend of the streets, perhaps, but Leicester's success really carries that along, in my opinion. That's what I'll say. And I don't want to take anything away from that season because it was a really good season. Don't get me wrong, and that is a legendary season. I don't think that makes him a legend.
I want to say it does because like the team he's on, like I mean, besides this season because he's been a bit injured, like he's had double-digit goals since 2016 in the double digits. It goes 24, 13, 20, 18, 23, 15, 15, and then now it's 3. But he's played in a lot of matches. Take that back. But like Leicester are shit this season. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know. I feel like he could be up there. I mean, not on the same level, but I feel like back in like if you said like 2019 to like 2021, I feel like you'd be a bit scared of facing Vardy. Every team was like because you're like he's bound to score at least one. In that sense, if that makes sense. Like he's bound to have something happen in the game. He's bound to do something. Now that he's a bit older, injuries banged him up a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I got to put him up there for the culture. Personally, I check him in there.
All right,
maybe on a lower pedestal.
See, but I think like the whole like over 10 goals per thing is like it's kind of whatever to me. Like I understand it, and don't get me wrong, it's but so does like Wilfried Zaha tends to get more than 10 goals a season. You know,
but
like
class.
But Ivan Toney does. Even like Ollie Watkins, like Timo Pukki gets 10 goals every season in Premier League, even when he's up here. So I don't like just based off that, I'm very reluctant to be like, well, like yeah, good for you, like but then just off that, then so many other people are Premier League legends.
All right. To agree to disagree, I think he should be up there on a lower pedestal. That's my final verdict.
All right, there you
go. I mean, he's not going to be above Drogba or Kane. I mean, considering Kane could be the highest goal scorer in Premier League history and Drogba is one of the greatest strikers in Premier League history, both I think still hold things over Jamie Vardy, considering the fact that yes, he scored a lot of goals, and yes, he's won a title, but plenty of other strikers have done that as well. And I mean, God's sake, like you could look at friggin' Jesus. He won a title for City with City, and he scores a good amount of goals. And I don't think anyone's gonna put him up there. So don't get me wrong, Jamie Vardy is absolutely a iconic Premier League star.
Yeah, he deserves his praise.
Yeah, deserves his praise. Should go down as a Premier League, just that one of those Premier League players that you're like, yeah, he was a baller. Yeah. But you're not going to put him above Kane or Drogba or any other top striker that you can think of. Like I would not do that at all. I would still take those guys any day of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like that.
Next hot take.
Good discussion as well. Good discussion. All right. Let's see. All right. This one's a Tottenham one. I don't know what year this is. I forget. I can't think of the freaking. It might have been the year that you got robbed by that Leicester won. But this is not robbed, but you didn't win it. You bottled it. There we go. We'll say
that's not a bottle.
Anyways,
bottled.
Tottenham
choke City.
This Tottenham team,
just like fifth place.
This Tottenham team, and I'll list off the team, would have won the Premier League this season. Let me list off the team. In attack, Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli. In the midfield, Wanyama, Moussa Dembele. On the sides, Danny Rose and Kyle Walker. In the back line, Eric Dyer, Toby Alderweireld, and Jan Vertonghen. And, of course, in net, Hugo Lloris. Would that team have won the league this year?
Wait, who's the manager back then? It was Poch, right?
That's Poch.
Poch. Who was the midfield? It was Eriksson and what?
No, it was Musa Dembele and Wanyama. Musa Dembele is so underrated, by the way. Just want to put that out there.
Yes.
He's class
My
in
king.
FIFA too. He's always class.
Oh, dude, my king. Diego, you remember the legends of Musa Dembele?
I do. I remember the
he knows.
2-star weak foot didn't exist when you were playing with him. No. Okay, so as much as I hate to say this, I'm gonna say no. We wouldn't have won it this year, just because of how good Man City have finished the season off. They have been just phenomenal. With that being said, I think if we had that quality of team over the past 5 years, I think we would have won it one of those years.
I like that switch up. I like that.
I think one of the past 5 seasons we would have won it if we had kept that consistency of that high level play that Man City had been keeping for that high, that Liverpool kept for a good amount until they dropped off a little bit. I think if we had been able to keep that, we would have won it. But the fact that our best season was when Chelsea. Well, actually, our best season was when Chelsea won it, not even when Leicester won it. First of all, I think we should clear that up. That was our best team when Chelsea won it. We were really, really good, and we just happened to miss out on a Chelsea team that were also very, very good. But if that team that lost to Chelsea, what was it, 16-17? I think if that team can stays that way for at least another 4 seasons, we would have won a title. I stand by that for sure.
Okay.
But not this season.
I like that. Yeah, there's nothing you can disagree with there. I mean, City are just City, dude. Like
they're just so good.
I think it would be a top 4 finish. I mean, yeah, instead of a 8th, 7th, 8th finish this season.
So. That's fair. Right. I like that. No disagreements there. All right, let's move to. Let's see. Eden Hazard was the best winger the Premier League has ever seen. Yeah.
No.
But if you say no, I want to hear who's better.
Oh.
Because you need to have someone else in mind in order to say no. If you're saying no to say no, then you're saying no just to say no.
I was gonna give my reasoning, but
like I'm the best manager in my full manager save just because no one else has done it. You know, like that's what I mean. Like you have to have a.
I mean, I feel like. Because I remember watching him play against West Ham, and I was like, "Well, shit."
Oh, that one goal was.
I was like, "Well, shit." Anytime he got the ball and he was on a run, I was like, "Oh, this is probably gonna end horribly for us. Great for Chelsea fans, horribly for West Ham fans."
Normally did back then.
And back then, now I don't even know what he's up to. Kicking grass, I guess. I don't know because I want to say I feel like now if he was in the Chelsea squad now, I don't think he would. I mean, no one would be good in the Chelsea squad.
Oh, like at this age? What do you mean? Like at this age? Like if he would just moved over like today?
No. If he stayed, I think he could have concreted himself concrete as one of the best. Yeah, cemented. There you go. I can't speak English apparently. Cemented. Thank you, Diego. Cemented himself as the best winger the Prem's seen. But I feel like now there's so many good wingers that it's hard to really kind of tell in a sense because I feel like you got Son who's kind of shown for a little bit, but not same consistency. And then I don't know, you look at Zaha, he's solid as a winger. He's scary.
I don't know what you're saying right now, man.
Dude, I'm just trying.
Those words meant nothing to me. Yeah, but they're nowhere near what Hazard was doing.
Can I just say this?
Tell me.
I think Hazard's a little weird because on one hand, I think he was a phenomenal player, and definitely one of the best the Premier League I've seen. But it's weird because he's also kind of different than other wingers. He was a very creative player. He never assisted that much. And his scoring was always solid, but never crazy, you know. I think his best season was the last season where he did get some insane goals and assist tally. I think I looked it up right now. 16 goals, 15 assists. Yet you look at someone like Mo Salah, who had the record for most goals in a season until Haaland broke it just recently. Thierry Henry. I would still put
Well, Thierry Henry was more striker. Thierry Henry played more striker for Arsenal than we are realistically. I mean, this does go back to different. It goes back to more to a deeper like what kind of role do they play?
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like all in all, I think you put him against Mo Salah, and I'm not gonna put Thierry Henry in the conversation because Thierry Henry is just known as one of the best strikers. If you ask anyone, they'll say best striker. So I'm not gonna put Thierry Henry in there. But like you talk about Mo Salah, like I think I'm still putting Eden Hazard above, and like I'm trying my best to come as neutral as I can, but it's not just goals and assists. I mean, if you like, obviously I watched him play more than either of you did, but if you just watched how much they contributed to their teams, then I'm putting Eden Hazard on top of Mo Salah or anyone else. Personally, not saying Mo Salah wasn't the best player on his team. I think Eden Hazard just meant more, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I get it. I wouldn't agree, but I understand what you're saying.
I understand. I can't believe I left out Salah out of everyone.
Yeah, he said Wilfred Zaha.
I don't know. Like my brain, I am so tired. My brain is just not working. I said cement instead of concrete. Come on.
No, you said concrete.
See,
brother.
Case in point. Shit, maybe I should leave early and fuck.
Jesus. All right, I got a couple few more. Messi's return to Barcelona would be a bad move for Barcelona.
Incorrect. Move on. That's such a stupid.
Ooh, really?
It's what.
No, wait. But like okay. Let me rephrase the question. Okay. Because I'm as much a fan as you are, Dale, and I know what you mean, and I want to see it happen.
No.
Bad move for Barcelona as a team, as a fighting to win team. Okay.
If you're forcing Messi, okay. First of all, let me. You should saying the sentence is also almost taboo. Like you don't force Messi into your team. Messi just plays into your team because he is Messi. With that being said, he is getting older, so I don't think you should get him just to get him. And then oh wait, we aren't really playing around him. Like if you get Messi, you got to build around Messi, but you shouldn't also completely disregard the project you've been building. Like you shouldn't the setup and the tactics that Xavi's been going with, and then you get Messi. You shouldn't then have to that shouldn't be causing you to drop friggin' Pedri because you're within the team.
But you're so confusing with your answers, Dale. Because it's always
you say one thing and then you go back.
It's always 50. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying
for Barcelona, is it good or bad?
What is
bad?
It's
it's
not black and white.
It's when you.
Try to phrase it as much as you can. Is it a good idea for him to go back for them to pick him up, not him to go back there, for them to pick him up, or is it a bad move for them to pick him up? And in the grand scheme of things, just give me one or two.
Bad. It's like chapter's
over. When you start talking to him, you started off saying it was a good thing, and then you finished saying it was a bad thing. So, which one?
Well, because I was saying are they there's just so many factors I'm trying to take into account.
He's having an internal conflict as he talks.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, no, we should think about that. At the end
of the day, he's still one of the best players in the world. I'm gonna have to say it's a good thing.
Ooh.
Okay, finally.
Okay.
Besides their salary,
concrete answer. Puns.
If they can deal with their salary issues, then actually
let's be real, they're not going to.
Yeah.
And then Messi just got fined and suspended.
Yeah, he just got
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
silly Messi. He's so silly for that.
I can't believe they suspended him. I respect it though, because you gotta show no one's bigger than the club, but it's just funny to me.
I mean.
He's all right, I can sit at home. Dope. All right, bet.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is we're just showing you up kind of thing.
He's I can go back to Dubai for 2 weeks. Bet.
Yeah, literally. You don't care. Okay, Dale. So you're saying it's a good move. End of the day, you're saying it's a good move for Barcelona. It is a good move to pick him up. Okay. I'm going to agree with the second half of your argument you made, where I do think it would be too much to bring him in. Because of the system that Xavi's created and his players that he's put in these roles and stuff like that. Messi would have to play, right? There is no not playing Messi, but which is true, but I do think that would just damage the whole part of the whole Xavi as a manager kind of thing. It'd be too forced. Like, yes, that's the thing. Like he is one of the greatest players of all time, if not the. And he does deserve to play. And wherever team he's on, he should be playing week in, week out. Fitness, given that he's good fitness wise, but that's just is that Barca shouldn't have to play him every week. I think it would take away too much from what they've done there. All right, fantastic.
Great job, lads. I agree with Elijah.
All right, love you. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, the last one I have here is: any decent professional striker can do what Haaland is doing for Manchester City this season.
Okay.
Okay.
Discuss this one. Like,
then they would be breaking the record every season. Okay, let's relax.
Exactly.
Well, but at Man City, if they were to swap Haaland,
No.
I know, I'm not. I'm just.
Aguero, excuse me. No.
No. Wait, I don't think that's the argument.
Wait.
No. I'm saying like good. You said like good. Like he would be breaking the record and shit every season. I'm just saying like yeah.
Like, I mean, personally, Aguero is a bad example because I think Aguero would be doing what Haaland is doing, in this City team.
Okay, what the fuck? Are you got hyenas in your dorm or what?
The seance. All right, I think okay. Back to what I was saying. I think Aguero's a bad example because Aguero, I think, would be matching the similar numbers just because it's Man City, whatever. In this specific team.
If this is a prime Aguero, I think we'd be seeing. Some
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I mean, but I think the statement said any decent striker. So if you throw in, I don't know, if you throw in Gerard Moreno, he's not gonna.
You could throw in Ivan Toney and would he score 20 goals? Yeah, I think
probably.
He would score 20
Yeah.
goals.
Right.
Would he score 40 plus? No.
Right.
No. So there's your answer. No.
All right. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty unanimous. Quick.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Just what we like. All right. Perfect. Let's move on. I don't know if you want to use that cue to leave.
I shall.
What are they doing?
I don't know. I really
go
don't
investigate and go tell us. Bring the camera with you.
Bring the camera. We're gonna vlog.
Vlog it up. Practice for July.
There we go.
Vlog that shit.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you there.
I'll catch you later.
However, we're not done here with Beyond Address. We're gonna cover one more topic. Here.
Oh,
so
dipped. All right, cool.
He's just gone. All right.
Gone.
So it's me and you now.
Hi.
Let's see. What can we go over? I want to go over FIFA Women's World Cup. First time covering any aspect here of the Women's World Cup.
Here?
Exactly. we don't know what we leave in his mouth. So it's not really about what we think is going to win or players, whatever. It's unfortunately, to be honest, a more business side, corporate kind of thing regarding it. But it's about the FIFA president, Infantino, who is, as his name describes, almost infamous. He's very infamous for things he says, things he does, double standards he holds, and things like that. And that bald head, of course. And he went to the Millwall game this season. I don't know. But we're gonna cover him and what he said. And I'm not gonna say this is particularly his fault. I'm just saying this is what he said. He said he threatened essentially to not broadcast the Women's World Cup just because of disappointing offers by TV channels and TV networks and things like that, who would, as it the World Cup, who was it? NBC? CBS? Neither. I don't know.
It was
Fox. Okay. Whichever one pretty much covered most of the tournament, as best they could. Apparently I'm sure these names are in there as well, making offers for Women's World Cup, and they are disappointing. Doesn't mean they actually are. It's just disappointing for FIFA standards, probably in comparison to the men's. Yeah. And I just want to say first and foremost, I'm disappointed in Infantino, in FIFA personally. While I do understand less a lower offer and less offers for the Women's World Cup. I think whoever pays the highest, you have to give it to them. I don't
Yeah.
think this shouldn't be a matter of money. This should be a matter of growing the
FIFA's all
women's
about
game.
money. I know.
Well,
FIFA's all
that's
about money.
that.
So like, you just pick the biggest, highest amount of money, call it a day, and move on.
That's that. I mean,
FIFA's all about money.
that's
But you know,
exactly.
it's because it's the women's side. That's why it's this not massive
Yeah,
issue, but like
the
that's why there's
difference.
controversy. It's because like
Yeah,
the whole like wage debate. Yeah, like I'm
Yep.
not gonna get into it because that opens a whole different can of worms.
right.
that
It's a deeper thing.
Exactly. So like it's like the whole issue is that they don't have enough money in the sense of like they don't have enough coverage to do it. Like
Right.
they don't have that financial economic aspect that the men's side do. And this is
Right.
it's translating now into this issue with them not being able to have that big popularity and being able to like get those like big numbers that FIFA wants. I'm sure Fox is willing to pay a lot to cover.
Yeah, and exactly.
I'm sure.
Which is it's why it's disappointing to me because like I'm gonna make like the money. It's FIFA's about money. I'm gonna mention it in a different way. Like when I go back to the growth of the game, you pick the top one and you give it to them and they can broadcast it. That's it. It shouldn't be you're not paying enough, so we're not going to do it. If the men's was offered a little bit less, they would still broadcast it. But they're saying because you're not giving us enough money, why should we broadcast a women's thing? Like again, you should accept whatever money you're going to take, whatever you're going to get, and broadcast it. So many people want to watch this, right? So many people want to watch this World Cup. More like week in week out, I see headlines about women's Champions Leagues games, and it's the breaking record attendance, record amount of viewers, seemingly week in week out. So it's not like no one wants to watch this. Exactly, and you should give them the platform, regardless of how much money you're making. It's an investment, right? You should just broadcast it on whatever channel is going to be the biggest, and whoever most people are going to see, so that you can make more money in 10 years.
Exactly. Right. Next World Cup, bam, more money.
Next World Cup,
more people are interested, inspired more of the next generation. You know, it's a simple business decision, but it's sad that it's like they're saying it's not enough money, but in reality, we all know the real issue here. It's because it's the women's game, which is extremely unfortunate, and you know. And it's sad to see that it's translating, but I'm also glad it's getting so much popularity. Like the Wolfsburg versus Arsenal women's UEFA Champions League game. That's the game I was assuming you're referring to. Sold out Emirates. Huge congrats to the both teams for being able to sell at that stadium. But it's like something that should be expected, you know?
Right.
Like instead of them playing at like the women's, this is going to go into this whole thing. Instead of like, the women's playing at like the training grounds of like their respective clubs, they should be playing at the stadium. You know, like I know it's completely conflicting different men's, women's schedules, stuff like that, but they should be playing at their respective club stadiums. It only makes sense. It's only fair because I know, and I think Kate Longhurst, the West Ham captain for the women's team, the U18s. Congrats to the men's U18s team for West Ham from the FA Cup youth trophy. But I just want to say, like, she made a good point. It's like they played on the field on at the London Stadium before they did, which is mental to me.
And that shouldn't be a thing because men Kylian Mbappe and Alex Morgan are at the exact same level in their respective fields, and that is the highest level. So you both should be playing at the same highest heights. If anything, the youth team should be playing should only be playing at these stadiums in a final.
Yeah,
like it shouldn't be this shouldn't be an argument. First of all, this shouldn't be an argument. This goes to women's sports in general. Women's WNBA, women's basketball in America. Candace Parker just went out saying, I guess it was just announced that the Las Vegas Aces, the women's team in Las Vegas, are building the first ever WNBA dedicated training facility.
They did that thing.
Or they did,
sick.
There we go. So it's like that. It's 2023, guys. Like this shouldn't be a thing. So back to FIFA, it shouldn't be a case of you're not paying enough, so we're not going to broadcast them. It should be okay, we understand we're going to make a little less money, but that's okay because what's more important is we grow the love of the game for people, especially women and girls and things like that.
Yeah, especially in the women's game, you see different countries.
Yeah,
every time in the World Cup, so it's going to be compared to the men's. Because like obviously the women's USA is going to do better in the World Cup than the men's team did because they're just more dominant in their respective league or like area, and so they're going to gain more popularity as it goes on because all these people, like what happened when the U.S. got to the round of 16, like all the Americans came and supported them, and now in the last World Cup and the Olympics, same thing happened. It's just going to happen again, gain more popularity, inspire young girls and boys, who knows, to go in and play. But also like the different countries, like I don't know any examples off the top of my head, but I know there's certain countries that are in there that the men's team hasn't been, and maybe they'll gain popularity in their respective countries and build. And the positive note is, yes, there's these issues, but at least it's expanding than it used to be. Because like before, probably like 10 years ago, you'd be like, oh, women's like whatever, like it'd be kind of like a laugh.
It was more that was more commonly seen to be the case. Yes.
Yeah, but like now it's like respected. Well, it's gaining respect as it should be, but like it's gaining the respect that it deserves, and and they're taking the right step. But this FIFA, of course, FIFA knows how to fuck up everything. They're taking the wrong step, but I hope they make the right decision in the end. Hire whoever pays more, and because I know Fox is so, but Fox is definitely showing it because they always do. But to the other countries that are broadcasting stations that are trying to get the rights to do it, I think they just pick whoever's the most because they only
whoever's going to give you the most. Yeah, just we want to watch it. That's it.
Yep.
Infantino, we want to watch it. Exactly. We're going to. That's the plan. So let us watch it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Put it on shows. Put it on TVs. Is what I mean. All right. Well, I guess we'll cap it there. That was a good discussion. And if you enjoyed the women's the women's talk, this isn't gonna be the last time we're talking about it. As the World Cup rolls around, we're definitely gonna talk more about it. We would like to. We want to be more informed on it as well because, admittedly, we're not as much as we like to be. But when it comes around, we will educate ourselves. We want to get involved as best we can. And so if that interests you, consider subscribing. Please turn notifications on so when we release women's football centered videos, which there'll be more of, you'll know when they come out, and you can be one of the first to watch it. And
leave comments of who your favorite players, favorite teams is, so we can look them up, do our research, talk about them. Maybe possibly go to some women's games here. Possibly. That's right. Do a vlog. I want to
go to a Wave game. There we go.
That is true. We do want to go.
All that kind of stuff. Any women's football content. Let us know what you want to see. All that stuff. And hopefully we give you guys what you want to see. So that'll be pretty much it. That was episode 6 of the Get In Football podcast. I keep wanting to say for the bag. Have it. Exactly. The Get In Football podcast. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing so you can watch next week's as well. Typically release them on Wednesdays. Midweek, good little break if you want to take it. Drive to work, drive home from school, whatever. Anything. Go on a run. All that sort of stuff.
All right.
So, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night.
Whatever it is. Peace. Week, month, peace. Week, month, peace.
Week.